Do you ever feel like your life revolves around Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you spend a good amount of money on TCG Player? How much time do you spend each day perfecting your deck or dueling opponents online? As Yu-Gi-Oh players, we need to spend that money on cards. We need to take the time to perfect our decks and to pilot them to victory. That feeling when you put in all that work and you finally take that W versus your opponent, that feeling is intoxicating. What is up, everyone? My name is Mr. J, and today we are going to take a deep dive into this topic and attempt to answer the question, why is Yu-Gi-Oh so addictive? All right, let's get into the first reason. Think back to your first Yu-Gi-Oh card. Think back to waking up early to watch the new Yu-Gi-Oh episode on Saturday mornings. Man, think back to playing with your friends in grammar school. My first Yu-Gi-Oh card was Two-Pronged Attack, and I know it was given to me in 5th grade. Now, Two-Pronged Attack is not the best card, obviously, but I still remember the day my friend gave it to me one afternoon after school. I still remember the time my dad took me to Toys R Us, yes, Toys R Us, and he bought me the Yugi starter deck maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago. I still have my first Dark Magician from that day, and it does hold a special place in my heart, even though I looked it up almost 20 years ago. How am I still playing this game 20 years later? And as a viewer, it's fair enough to ask you the same question. Why are you still here after so many years? Do you remember your first Yu-Gi-Oh card? And why are you still playing Yu-Gi-Oh now? These questions will lead me into my first reason as to why Yu-Gi-Oh is so addicting. We have good memories of Yu-Gi-Oh, whether that be from the card game or the TV show. And equally as important, we meet people through Yu-Gi-Oh. And obviously we meet these people who have the same passion, the same hobby, basically, right? And we bond with them on a certain level. For example, I remember the day I met my best friend. I was walking home from school, and I remember a few days prior I was bothered by some gang members, so obviously I was a little on edge. But I looked back when I was walking home one day, and I saw him, he had the same school t-shirt as me. So, I told him what was up. He was actually a real cool guy, and then we just walked home together. But coincidentally, he lived right across the street from me, and one of the topics we first talked about was Yu-Gi-Oh. So we would hang out in front of his steps, we would play Yu-Gi-Oh, we would talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, and overall just have fun with the game. So he passed away 2014, but I met him 2003, now that I think about it, 6th grade. And you know what? I still remember I left him a BLS, Envoy of the Beginning, in his casket when he passed away, because it was just that card that reminded me of him, back then in the day. That was definitely just a callback and an appreciation for our time spent together, earlier in our lives. And I do miss him. And I think deep down, we all had someone that impacted our lives through Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's why I'm bringing up the story. But moving on, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! You love Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why you're watching this video right now. Either you currently love it or you used to love it. Deep down, we all love building decks. We all love watching deck profiles. And we also love hearing players top with our favorite decks. Yu-Gi-Oh! Then, no doubt, has provided us with good times and, equally as important, good memories. Yo, did you hear? Ash Blossom is being reprinted. Yes, again. My guy, did you hear? Black Luster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos is getting reprinted in Ghosts from the Past. There is always more product coming out. As a 10-year-old and even as a young 20-year-old, I wasn't able to afford many cards. Yet I still followed many YugiTubers such as MegaCapitalG, YourYugiohChannel, Asian Eyes White Dragon, and DPYGO. Do the names ring a bell? If you know, you know.
Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
These are creators I watched and that you watched on the daily back in the day because they shared a similar passion for the game like you and I did. And boy, did they pump out content.
Hello, Yugioh players. How are you today? Lonely?
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely.
In today's video, I will share with you things that Yugioh players do, but shouldn't. Taking selfies with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Hit the music.
Yes, even though I was poor, I still heavily invested in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, whether that be with what money I did have or the time I did have to spare. I practiced hours upon hours on YuGioh Percy, and this is despite not having friends to play with in the first place because I didn't have many friends that played Yu-Gi-Oh in my early 20s, sadly. But point being, I could spend hours and hours just testing new decks or perfecting existing ones. Let me just say that recently in the past 12 months, I've tried twice to quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. I stopped playing Ignis Pro. I stopped looking at my cards. I stopped buying cards online, TCG Player, eBay. And for a while, it works. But then two things happen. First thing is that specific friends hit me up. And of course, they want to play Yu-Gi-Oh and hang out. And I do, and we play some Yu-Gi-Oh, and of course, I have a good time hanging out with my friends. Second thing that happens is that I'm still subscribed to a lot of YugiTubers. So I will see videos from MST.TV, TheCaliEffect, and the DB Grinder just show up on my newsfeed, and I click on these videos.
How much money do you think I've spent on Yu-Gi-Oh cards? If the answer isn't yes, you're not even in the right ballpark. What's going on with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here, and today we're going to be talking about cards you should buy before they skyrocket in price.
Cali always gets me, I'm not even going to lie. Then throw in a few House of Champs videos on the current market.
What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. There are some crazy buyouts and even crazier conversations to be had about the market right now, such as how are the stim checks going to affect the market?
Then my head is flooded with what cards to buy, which cards to sell soon, or what new product is coming out in the future. And instantly, I'm hooked right back into the world of Yu-Gi-Oh. It honestly feels sometimes like I never even left. This game is addicting. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I do have my laptop here, but I've been tracking my expenses since 2011 in an Android app. I know this is Apple, but I have the screenshots. So I can see an estimate of how much I spent over a 10-year period. I spent around 8,000, and I think at the time of this recording, when I update the screenshots, it might be up to 9,000. But that's over a 10-year period. And let me tell you right now that I am not a max rarity person. In other words, I will not spend $90 on an Ultimate Kagari when the $1 Kagari does the exact same thing. No. No, don't do it. Not the 3 copies of the Ultimate Kagaris, bro. Stop. Just save your money, bro. Just save it. All right, pause the video. Guys, let me know how much you think you spent overall on Yu-Gi-Oh in your lifetime. I'll wait. Yeah, just put it in the comment section. Is it over 9,000? I'm flexing. I don't even have any ultis. Perhaps what is more alarming than the money we spend on this game is actually the time that we spend on it. Which brings me to reason number 3 why Yu-Gi-Oh is so addictive. Now I know this is not just me. Winning in itself is addictive. And there is no difference in Yu-Gi-Oh! Winning in Yu-Gi-Oh! Feels just as good. Winning prompts your body to release endorphins and dopamine, more widely known as the feel-good hormones, so you do get rewarded for winning. The rush of dopamine instantly produces a feeling of happiness for having accomplished the goal, whether that goal be winning a duel online, winning a duel versus a friend, or a big rush after winning a tournament. I know when I win a Yu-Gi-Oh match, I can't help but smile. There's no way I'm gonna win a match, 2-0 my opponent and then give them a frowny face. And during this time, with COVID and everything, if you're watching remote duels, if you can see the player's face, they can't help but smile when they're winning. The endorphins produced when you win is what gives you that runner's high. Have you ever seen players hit you with one of these after they win a tournament? Equally as important here, though, and I guess it's the flip side to the coin, and they are connected. Losing feels terrible. Literally one of the worst feelings you could feel on a daily basis. You have an innate fear of losing, so you do everything in your power not to lose. Think about it. You want to win. That's why you spend so much money on cards. That's why you spend so much time perfecting your deck and practicing. You do it to win. So if you have more cash funds available, you spend money on cards that are vital to your success so that you can get that W at the end of the day. Yeah, you're definitely going to need those 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. That card is insane. Whoever tells you otherwise is trying to get you to sell them at a lower price so they can pick it up for cheap. And again, besides the money, you need to put in that work. If you have extra time on your hands, you spend that extra time practicing those combo lines or playing with decks, studying decks that your opponents might play. That way you know how to best counter them. And those are my 3 reasons why this game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so addicting. Let me know in the comment section down below, have you ever thought about this game as an addiction? And feel free to add to the conversation. Either you agree and you want to add more examples or more reasons, or you wholeheartedly disagree. If you like this video and would want to continue watching these types of videos, then please consider hitting that subscribe button, that like button. That way I know you enjoy this type of content and that you would like to see more. It's absolutely free. Again, my name is Mr. J. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. So see, this is what I was thinking about telling my mom. If I try to justify my spending and all the time I spend on Yu-Gi-Oh, I think of this specific scenario. If I were to tell my mom, I'm addicted to Yu-Gi-Oh, she'd probably say, okay, what's the big deal, bro? And yeah, and then imagine telling your mom, a similar scenario. Mom, I'm addicted to heroin. And your mom would be like, what the bro? Understandably, she'd be a little worried and concerned about your health and your choices in life. And equally disappointed in, you or me as their son. So yeah, being addicted to Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't all that bad, right? At least it's not alcohol or cocaine, I think I'm doing pretty good.